last season was historic, and I've said that many, many times. But before last season started, and I'll ask you this, Dre, the for the time that Jim Harbaugh was at Michigan, had they reached the goals and the pinnacles that they've wanted in any of those seasons before last year?
No, no.
And when it comes to the quarterback position before last year, do you feel like he had slam dunk, even just decisions, regardless of who he was able to get on campus? Do you think he had slam dunk decisions on the quarterbacks in his time
No,
at Michigan?
no, it was always chaos, always indecisiveness. Besides the year with Jake Rudock, that was a really good grad transfer that he got. And I mean, yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, it was pretty much a quarterback carousel. It was always like the next guy up and the next hype, right? After Jake Rudock, they had Will Spate, take over, and he did okay. But it was, if it was a Spate, then there was a point in time where people wanted John O'Corn to start. What literally before he started, there was a point in time when he transferred from Houston that people thought John O'Corn should have been a starter. Then they saw him play and they're like, "Oh, we were wrong," right? There was a point in time that people wanted Brandon Peters to be the guy. Oh, we had heard so much about Brandon Peters. Oh my God, this guy's gonna be fantastic. And you saw exactly why he wasn't starting right away. There was a point in time when people wanted to see Dylan McCaffrey, and then we saw Dylan McCaffrey, and he showed a little bit of signs, but hey, you checked his career stats since he's left Michigan. Okay, there's a point in time when people wanted to see Joe Milton, and then you saw what Joe Milton was. So no, it was a quarterback carousel for a while. So yeah.
And I think that leads me to my point that it's not as if Jim Harbaugh has been crushing it with the QB decision to that he is beyond reproach on his decision making. Like,
Right.
and I'm not trying to like crush the guy, but D Brown is making it seem like we are just psychos for even questioning how he's going about it. Now, regardless, he could still make the right decision this year. But do we need all of this to make the right decision? Like that, I guess that is my ultimate point. Do we need to go through all of this to make the right decision on the quarterback? And I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's my point. I don't think we need to go through all this to figure this out.
No, 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 no. I mean, you do an evaluation. You see these kids every day. You should be able to determine if this kid has what it takes to be successful or not. And Mike Ford, I want to hear that. Oh, I never wanted Milton. Yeah, you may have not wanted Milton, but there was a ton of hype about Joe Milton. There were some people calling him Cam Newton. I kid you not.
Yes,
Like
yes.
he could throw it 6'5",
On the biggest
250.
networks, and
Yes. 6'5", 250. The dude could throw it 70 yards from his knees. Like, I heard this stuff. Trust me, it was real hype. There were people pushing for Brandon Peters. Absolutely. No doubt about it. At the time. Now, you can't do revision of history based on how they turned out. You got to remember, before they played, it took over, there was a ton of hype for some of these guys. Shea Patterson, a ton of hype being transferred in. Rightfully so. Because unlike those other guys, you saw what he was at Ole Miss. And it made sense. And we all thought, hey, this is, what do we call Sugar Shea? Me and Dez at work, like, Sugar Shea is here, baby. This is it. It took a while. And last year was like the first year where it was like the quarterback position was finally stable and not something that you had to question every week, in terms of the performance, right? So, man, it's just, and once again, if guys, I think some people can hear your tonality and they're not really hearing your words. We're not saying this is going to fail. We're not even saying that it was the wrong decision. I'm just saying that it was not a clear, concise solution, right? That's it. And it is still limbo. We're still in a bit of limbo. And at some point, we're going to have that recap of when they do make that definitive call. Would it be after week 3? I'm not so sure. We think so. Could we think, week 1, we know who's going to start week 1, week 2, but we don't know beyond that. What's the start Harbaugh could, like someone alluded to earlier, I mean, they don't have a real tough game till 5-6 games into the season. So what if both guys play really well the first 2 weeks? What's to stop Harbaugh for doing the same thing the next 2 games? Okay, well, We get a big printout about hardball again. You know, we were really pleased with both guys, week 1 and week 2, to the point where we think that they both still give us a good chance to win. So we're going to have this time JJ start week 3, and we're going to have K start week 4. Like literally, like I mean, what's to stop him from doing that? If both guys play well, because from his standpoint, he can say, "Look, you saw how both guys played week 1 and week 2. You're gonna question me for wanting to play both guys? You saw how they played, right?" So that's what we're saying. Like, it's not a clear and concise solution. That's all.